don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. I do it for the art in it. It's art, you're creating something, you know what I mean?
Right, when you listen to it, you feel it. When I play it, every note resonates to me.
Is it in the keys? The fingertips that reach out to touch them? The string that begs to be bent? Or is it in the notes on a page? A foot to a pedal? The infinite space between imagination and skill? Or is it simply music?
You know, we all relate to music and respond to music. You know, because music is an emotion, and that's what taps into the human soul.
I think it does. I think music is one of the things in the world that connects everybody on that level.
I think music is not just the songs we're listening. Listen to this water. So this is music, right? It's any kind of sound that can be music, right? As long as you feel connected.
Gives you solace, and it, you know, you've heard that prophecy or the Confucius or whatever the ancient Chinese proverb talk about the man with 2 pennies, and if he has one, he needs to buy a loaf of bread to sustain his life, but then the other penny is for a flower to give him a reason for living.
I tend to usually go for the angry stuff. It's more fun.
The innovators, and funny enough, as it pertains to Rusty, it's kind of getting back into kind of like reinventing his presence online. But I don't think he realizes sometimes like maybe he does, what he started, as far as like he's one of the original YouTube guys.
Bet you can't play this.
No, I used to call everybody from the other bands, but you got to see this guitar player. You know, he'd come in the dressing room and he'd shred it up, and while he was shredding, I'd be like, you got to show me that lick. And Rusty's he can tell you what he's doing very clearly, so it's up to you to put it to use, but he's a very good teacher.
The needle drops and finds its groove. The air around you changes from ordinary to electric. Oxygen is replaced by sound waves, and in that one magnificent moment, you feel free.
When I was studying my piano, it was hard. I mean, the teachers are hard, and because they know you're gonna do good, and they just, it's a lot of force. But now I don't force my students that much, I guess.
The thing that was different about her is that when she would come into her lessons, ready to play, beautifully prepared, most of the time she wanted to hear me play. She wanted to learn, how can I think differently? And she's extremely much like a sponge in this way, and open and willing to see other ideas, which is a mark of artistry.
When someone who's at the level of Yen, who's earned the accolades, who's earned the degrees, you have to really do cherish an individual who have spent so much effort and time, investment into mastery. In her mastery of herself, in her intention, and then becoming the language that comes out on the instrument of the piano is just absolutely stunning.
We're all our own worst enemies, you know what I mean, or our own critics, you know what I mean? And no matter what anybody tells me about my playing, I know what I sound like. You know what I mean? And I know what's wrong with my playing, and I know what I need to get better at. I mean, realistically, it would take many lifetimes to master an instrument.
I'll never be happy with my playing, you know. Playing to me is half joy, half struggle. It's definitely a lifelong quest, but I feel like every time I see another guitar player doing something I can't do, it pushes me that much more to try and get there, and I feel like I've just begun.
You're always gonna trying to be better, but at the same time, you're trying to be more appreciate right now what you're doing.
I think if you're satisfied, you're not growing.
True.
You know, I think that
You're probably not a true artist if you are satisfied, because you're always looking for that next.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think there's been one song in my lifetime that I finish and go, okay, that's finished.
The blinding light. Your nerves turn to adrenaline. Your eyes focus on so much more than what you see. The crowd screams, and just for a second, time stands still. The mixture of fear and confidence turns into an indescribable energy that surrounds anyone near it. An invisible force creating the bridge between audience and performer.
Nerves are the biggest enemy of the musician. I think it's healthy to have that respect to get on stage and do your best.
In the beginning, I never had stage fright or anything like that at all. And then when I started playing instrumental music, when the spotlight was all on me and everybody was watching and every note that I played, because it's very meticulous music and a lot of notes. And you know, if I didn't hit every single note right, you know, it was bad news for me. I had to learn how to deal with that. And I started to develop stage fright from that. It was like I would get nervous, but I couldn't understand why I was nervous. I couldn't pinpoint. It's like, well, I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm just nervous. I got anxiety or something. And that moved on over into Outworld, which I experienced that a little bit with Outworld, but it started to go away. I read a couple of books on how to control your inner voice and stuff like that, which helped a lot. But now I'm back to where I was in the beginning. I mean, first time I played live was in the talent show in high school. And it was to a packed auditorium. And I was just like, boom, on, let's go.
It builds up by time this confidence about about not to care too much about your mistakes. Because especially, I think that when you're new on the stage, you're exaggerating all this, the little mistakes that you're making. But after you heard the comments from the audience, you actually, you realize it's not a big deal. And then some of them, they don't even realize that you made a mistake. So it's just in your mind.
Something happens in between music and human beings. It's a place in the universe where the possibility of perfection laughs in the face of those who try and achieve it. Music takes you on a journey through the wilderness of unexplored creation. You may find yourself in the vast desert of the unknown, and at the same time drowning in streams of ink, deeper than any ocean.
what I feel like Rusty's really good at, and he's kind of, I guess, taught me this along the way, and other people that he's been around, is if there's a fan there who's coming up to take the time to say hi to you or say good show or way to play, like he'll always kind of stop and make sure to say thanks.
I think more than performing, it's when you get off stage and a fan comes up to you and tells you how much your music meant to them, or how much the performance impacted them, or how much your music's impacted their life. That's gratifying. That makes it all worth it. You know, all the stuff that you have to go through as a musician, starving and, you know, fighting with management and record labels and touring and, you know, all that stuff. It's not fun, but it's that one moment. All it takes is one person to tell you that, and it's like, man, this is why I do it.
We learn from others, and it's our obligation to pass it on. Just like Yen came to the University of Houston to learn, now she's spreading her great, great talent. And this is what it's all about.
I remember meeting a couple who had a baby who passed away with our lyrics on the tombstone of their child's, headstone. And then I've met people who say they were suicidal, and our songs kept them from going through with it. And I love meeting the kid who says, I started playing guitar because I heard your songs, and now I've been playing guitar for 15 years. Makes me feel old, but I've ran into so many of those folks that it makes me feel very fulfilled with what I've done.
Music makes me feel free, right? Because when I'm speaking, I always feel restricted by the language, by the words, by the grammar, and logic, right? Because you have to be logic. But in music, when I'm playing, I can do whatever I want.
That need to create and that need to, especially for us guys, that's one of the few things we can create, So it gives us that ability to put your heart and soul into something and send it out to the world and say, hey, this is truly part of me, and this is truly part of, my soul. So here it is, in all its glory.
That's kind of a lot of the reason why I keep teaching.
There's a Greek word, rheo, R-H-E-O, that means flow. And rhythm comes from that. And it's a rhythm of life. It's not just sound. It's propelling us all forward, surrounded by the art.
That's the creation of music. Can you imagine the world without music? Imagine watching a movie with no soundtrack. You wouldn't know how to feel. Because it's the music that's prefacing the scene, that's telling you, oh, this is going to be a scary scene, or this is going to be a triumphant, happy, glorious moment, or whatever. It's the music is dictating your emotions before the scene actually happened.
Even like we say different language, but but the music is all the same, and we understand it the same way. And when I play something, I ask her them, how do you feel? And they will say, oh, I feel it's a happy song, a sad song. Yes, I feel that feeling is the same.
Music actually goes back to what I was saying, is the universal thing. It is the consciousness. It is part of the entire make of what we are as reality.
It's not the answer, it's the question. What does it mean to truly be alive? To experience all the joys and wonders of this world? To understand the poetry of sound and embrace the absence of silence? Music, the universal current that courses through the veins of possibility.
I think it will be always the biggest part of my life.
The sheer joy and gratification that you get from playing it and the feeling that it gives you.
It's an art that goes by in time, and I think we seek beauty in the music.
Music is my happiness.
I don't know another way to communicate certain things than like fingers through notes.
It'll be part of me forever. You know, there's nothing that can take it away. It's the one thing that's always there.
Yeah. It's every emotion you can imagine in all the colors in between.
I wouldn't change it for a million years. It's all, I don't want to go back. I want to continue to go forward and just keep on, just be the best I can and continue to contribute. But no regrets.
The truth is, there was a time when music wasn't here. When nature's orchestra played the wind in the trees, the ripple of water in a creek, or the crackle from a fire led the way to the miracle of Earth's harmony. I can't help but wonder what it was like. I can't help but feel grateful. I will never know.
I admire features. I can write a thesis well. I don't need no features. Won't even give a reason. Sim throughout the season. Swell. Broke our little secret. Tore our little pictures. Spin another record. Jar of flies. Daily resting in my mind. Running through my speakers. Ballin' with no sneakers. I can blame the Reverend for you leaving. Body counts 11 since you leaving. Just wanna see your face. Need you in my mind. Need another taste. I can be your guy. You can be my babe. You say if there's a will, there can be a way. I hope that there's hope in my visions. I think that I'm falling in love with him. I notice you're open when I visit. I chose this, I need to relive it.
You want to try to answer it again?
No.
No.
I think it's fine because it's gonna be short, no? You don't need a really long answer.
Are we still rolling? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna use that.
That's probably more natural.